Alright, so let us get started with our animation. If you have modeled the character and rigged it, you will have the character ready. What we are going to do is work in the left view. Okay. First, what I'll do is I'll create a box so we can use these boxes just as reference for the location of those boxes. Just create a box and then keep it on this. We need to select the box and keep it on the side. Okay. What we are going to do is we are going to create our key pose for frame number 1. So this guy is going to move 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in the front, and this guy is going to move 5 in the back. 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. Then this guy is going to rotate up 45 degrees. So we can right click on the rotate tool to get this window, and it says minus 33 something, so we'll make it minus 45, so it goes up. This guy is going to go down 90 degrees and then 45 that side, so 90 plus 45 is 135, so it will go down there. So this dude will move up 1, 2, 3, and this is going to move. We are going to align it with this here, so it will go here. Okay, so this is going to be our first key pose, and to register this point for this leg to come here and this leg to go here, we can of course count it, or we can simply, and then we will need one for here. So I'll copy this here. This is just for our reference, and this may get in our way of animation. So what we will do is let's control this box, and I'll just move it in the front here. So the boxes are still visible, but they are away from the character. Okay, this is just for our reference. So this box will be copied here. And then we will need one more box here. When this leg comes down, we will give it a slight rotation also. So this is our first key pose and this is our second key pose. Now we will select this and auto key it, and then create a keyframe on frame number 1. So just click on the key, and then same thing with this one, we will add a key. So now there is a key for this, and after some time, so we are going to animate at 0, 6, 12, 18 and 24. So at 6, this dude comes here, and the rotation becomes, right click here and it becomes 0. Okay, so it comes back, and then if you go to motion panel, motion paths, you can see the animation of the leg foot coming down. Now one of the principles of animation is animation movement in arcs. Everything that moves in real life moves in an arc, unless it is a mechanical movement which moves in a straight line. All right. Don't worry about it right now. When we add more keys, this will automatically shift to an arc. All right. So it's moving and coming here. Now this guy at 6 will come here, and we are not really worried about the head because it will just take care of its position. We cannot click and move it anyways. It is based on these legs, so that is the best part of our rig, that we don't have to really worry about what happens to the other part of the animation. We are only animating the feet. That's why it's a very good starter project. You learn the basics of how to create keyframes and learn about weights, and then principles of animation. One of the principles of animation is slow in and slow out. The other principle of animation is everything moves in arc. Another principle of animation is weights, anticipation. There are many principles, but as we go ahead, we will learn different elements that are involved in creating animations. So number 6 is here, then we'll go to 12. Now the 12, this foot goes here and rotates up, and in fact it goes here. So you can see that the arc is automatically created here, and the rotation has to be minus 45, and this one will go here and to rotate here. Okay, 135. Then we can test the animations. So the foot comes to 6. So this is one key pose, this is another key pose, and then this is another key pose. Same thing will happen at 18. This leg will come down and the rotation will become 0. This foot will come here and it will rotate. You can always hit the key to get the blue so that there is no mess up of or unexpected results. Make sure that all your what this is the animation of position, rotation and scale. Okay, we are not scaling anything, but we just add that key there. And then whatever was there at 0, the foot was there, so it goes back and then it goes back to its original position. So you can simply shift and copy the last keyframe. And same thing you can do with this. You can simply shift and copy that keyframe, and now you have a run cycle for your character. So let us test our run cycle here in this viewport. We'll zoom in and then just test it. So you can see that the character is walking, and now we don't need these, so we can delete them. Okay, so the character is now running, but you can see that the character doesn't show that he's stamping his foot on the ground. It's just like, floating around. So what we do is, again, auto key should be on, and this planting fee, so what we do is we put it on 5 and move it in the front. Then we go to 7 and copy this to 7 and move it back. So now what will happen is it will land and stay on the ground for a little while, and that will give the feeling of wet. Okay, so it should not be in one place, it should move, because everything is constantly moving. So we move it in the back like this, and then we will do the same thing with the other leg. So it lands here at 18, so we'll move this to 17, move it in the front, copy it to 19, move to 19 and move it in the back. Okay, and now if you play the animation, rewind it. Alright, so now you feel that the character is stomping the ground, it has more weight. And to further, what happens is whenever you are walking, when your legs move, your body follows the movement as well. Okay, the body moves up and down, sideways. Now unfortunately in this rig we cannot move the character head sideways. The only thing we can do is animate the head rotation. Okay, we can make the character move sideways if you want, but the too much of movement in the character can be distracting. So what we will do is, when he stomps the foot at 5, so we'll move it at 6 and we rotate the head a little bit. It has to be slight, so I thought -7 would be okay. And then when it goes back to 12 it becomes 0, and when it is at 18 it will be 7 in this direction. and again it will become 0. So there'll be a slight, extremely slight motion, but that goes a long way. Okay, and that's about it. Now we have our character planting the feet and running. Okay, so if you go to this window here, you have all the characters. It should have helpers also. Where are the helpers? These triangles are the helpers. So we hide those helpers. Okay, it was this button here. Okay, and then we hid the helpers, and then if you play it, your character is going to run. Alright, now if you right click and unhide all, what you can also do is change the frames. So I had only 24 frames, so if you make it say 200, okay, we can select all the animations and go to graph editor, curve editor, edit, controller, out of range, and you can make it linear or cycle. Which one was it? Let us type cycle, and if you play the animation, it will continue to animate the run cycle for a long time. Okay, so now we will hide our helpers again. Okay, so there are no helpers. We will hide Control C to add the camera, and if you want, you can animate the camera also. So we will add a key to the camera, go to 100, move the camera here. Okay, so you can, while the character is running, and then you can move it this side. And that way you can see the character running, and at the same time see the different angles in which the character is running. Okay, and then you can go to tools, grab viewport, create preview animation, save it as a movie file, preview, run. MPEG 4 compression, everything looks good. And then it's 640 by 360. If you want bigger, 900 by 540. And then here you want 200 frames, you can create it. Okay, and that would be saved. Run cycle. It was here somewhere. Preview, run. This was the movie. Okay.